tremendous looking trophy.
Hello and welcome to Platinum Explosion, number one PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias. My name's Dylan Blight. Joining me, as always, Ashley Hobley.
Hey John, excited to be here. Another week of PlayStation news.
We have some news this week because
Actual news.
they didn't do a state of play, but they decided to show up at Gamescom. So good job, PlayStation. Remember those rumors about the state of play where they was going to officially announce that Horizon Forbidden West was delayed? No, that happened in Gamescom. Talk about
Jeff
that.
Keighley with those megabots.
Jeff Keighley with those megabots. That's one way to put it. In the trophy cabinet this week, Silver Trophy, SIFU release date. Gold Trophy, Horizon Forbidden West release date. And then Platinum, Death Stranding. Lots of stuff to do with Death Stranding, in fact. It's pretty much back end of the show. Fucking Death Stranding extravaganza. Firstly, Naughty Dog. Now, I know we talked about this a lot, but there is a slight difference to this story. PlayStation Lifestyle writes, Naughty Dog confirms it is working on the studio's first standalone multiplayer game as it hires for the project. So they write, after years of rumors, speculation, reports, and data mining, Naughty Dog's biggest open secret has finally been confirmed by the developer itself. Naughty Dog is working on the studio's first standalone multiplayer game. The company tweeted out a number of job listings expressly for multiplayer title on its official Naughty Dog Jobs account. Wow, that's a mouthful. Naughty Dog Jobs account. They're asking for all things. Gameplay scripter, level environment, visual effects, AI programmer, fucking a million things that makes it seem like this game isn't actually as far in development as people would like, especially if it's a Last of Us multiplayer spin-off or whatever thing. But yeah, after all the LinkedIn things, after all the people finding files in The Last of Us, after all this sort of stuff where it seems like this was already a known thing, this is actually the first time Naughty Dog has officially confirmed that what they were hiring for or what people have been working on is a standalone multiplayer project. So not, I guess, we kind of always assumed it would be standalone, but I guess adding standalone means it's not going to be an add-on to The Last of Us if it is a Last of Us multiplayer thing. It means it'll just be its own little separate thing or whatever. But also all the jobs makes it seem like it's definitely not going to come anytime soon. And it's still just years, another year or two at least left in development. I don't fucking know. I don't know. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it seems like it's a long way off, but at least we know something's coming. Yeah. I mean, none of those roles necessarily are like major development, like, you know what I mean, like pre-production people. So that means they're reasonably far along. But yeah, obviously it implies that we're still going to be waiting a little while before we get anything. So, okay. Sorry, buddy. Guess you keep having to pull out Last of Us 1.
Yeah.
Playing the factions.
No one's playing that anymore. The game's dead.
Does anything ever really die anymore?
No, it comes back. Yeah, no, we'll see. Slight little update as we get into the Horizon section news thing. Push Square pointed out in this article that the Horizon Zero Dawn logo got updated, which usually I'm like, who cares? But I was like, this is I quite appreciate the slight change on this one, and the simplicity of it, I guess, which is that they've simply changed it so that, because obviously when they did the first one, it was just called Horizon Zero Dawn, there was no 1 or anything like that, and they never, when they announced the sequel, they certainly weren't ever like, oh, here's where we're going to fit in the 2 in it or whatever. And now they've got, but it had the little lines underneath it in the logo, like not the text, but the logo. Now they've added a 1 there. I think it's rather simplistic. I like it. And then when you go to Horizon Forbidden West, the logo has a like 2.
There's 2 lines.
2 lines. Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's a subtle thing. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I did notice they changed the Z though. I'm like, why?
Did they?
Why did they change the Z?
I didn't notice this.
I mean, look in the article at the Horizon Zero Dawn original logo, and then look at the Forbidden West logo. The line's kind of a different spot from across from the O.
Slightly.
Yep.
I guess.
Massive change.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out my
your what thesis on this?
what does all mean?
Yeah, that's a slight little update to that. So sometimes these are just little interesting tidbits I guess you just see happen in the background. It's worth noting or whatever. But there is more, much more Horizon news this week. So also, of course, as I talked about before, Horizon and hold on. Firstly, Horizon Zero Dawn got an update on PS5, only PS5. The game now plays at 60 frames per second. That was a free patch that went out for everyone. So if you want to replay the game or play it for the first time or play to Frozen Wilds like we no one here has, you can now do that at 60 frames per second. That's a thing. And then Horizon Forbidden West finally got its official release date, February 18th, 2022. It's technically a delay. We never got an actual proper release date, but of course it did always have that 2021 tag on it for a while. This is the first delay, but it's not one of those delays that, you know, I feel like a delay only hurts more when you have an actual date. You know, when it's just a year and they hadn't actually locked in a month, a day, or any, you know, it's like, whatever. You moved it from 2021 to here. It doesn't really feel like it hurts that much. But the biggest thing about this is that start of next year is just fucking stacked. And then also we're still waiting for Zelda to get a release date. And I'm going to laugh my fucking ass off if it's anywhere close to Horizon. Because I just don't know what the chances. What are the chances of two games that I guess they're not at all similar though. That's the thing. Like the only thing comparable was everyone just making all the jokes about Horizon's climbing not being as good as Breath of the Wild because it came out at the same time. And I guess they're both open world. But other than that, the games aren't at all alike. But how they end up so closely tied together if they release at the exact same time, and then what would it be? Horizon was 2017, right? 89.
Yep, 2017.
So 5 years later, if they release roughly at the same time, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it could happen, but doesn't seem likely since we've heard absolutely nothing about the new Zelda game.
We'll see. Well, how are you feeling about February 18? Excited now that you have an official release date?
Yeah, I mean, it's still, 6 months away still, so a lot can happen between now and then. But, yeah, I mean, it's exciting to have something kind of locked in, something to look forward to. You know, I'm sure you can pre-order the game already. That's weird, but... Yeah.
You probably pre-ordered EB Games like 2 years ago.
That's true. As soon as it was announced.
Yeah.
Probably before it was announced.
Probably.
Even before it was even thought of.
Untitled Horizon sequel. Placeholder.
Yeah, 1 week after the first one came out, and they're like, yeah, this sold really well. There's going to be a sequel. But yeah. February is a good... It feels like, you know, there used to be months that, like, were kind of dull. Like, you would just... Like in movies, there would be months where you just kind of chuck the stuff you don't like anymore. You're like... your lower tier stuff in. Like, there were gaps in the year, but it's like all year round now. It seems like there's going to be good games, new good games coming out. So yeah, February seems to be like a bit of a spike.
October, November.
Yeah, you know, this Valentine's Day, be sure to get your loved one Horizon Forbidden West.
Could be a romance,
and if it's got the rumored co-op, I mean, what other perfect way to spend Valentine's Day then?
Hunt some robot dinosaurs together.
It's after Valentine's Day, so it's like...
I was about to say, I have no idea what day Valentine's Day is, so you've got me there. What day is Valentine's Day?
14th of February, I'm pretty sure.
Is that right?
Someone who sells cards for...
I was about to say, I've watched that movie, Valentine's Day.
Yeah, Valentine's.
14th?
14th.
There we go. All right, good job, everyone. that was.
Show them your pre-order for Valentine's.
Welcome to Platinum Explosion, number one podcast where we help you figure out what days Hallmark gift cards you should remember.
I mean, just screw the band. Celebrate Valentine's Day on the 18th.
Yeah.
Restaurants will be cheaper. Flowers will be cheaper. Chocolates will be cheaper.
Well, it's
wow. Here at Explosion Network, nothing but relationship advice.
It's a bullshit holiday anyway. All right, just change it to whatever day you want.
Yep.
New Valentine's Day. Spelled NU. No? Like new metal? No, like new metal. You know?
Not a fan of that.
Okay, fair. Also, Aloy's in Genshin Impact as of today of the podcast releasing. So if you're a Horizon fan and a Genshin Impact fan, go have some fun with that, I guess. It looks fun for people who play that game. Looks
good.
It's cute.
Seems like it's like fully voiced as well.
It is, yeah. I don't know.
From that trailer.
I don't think it's Ashley, but but I think it's fully voiced, yeah. Looks cute though. I'm not gonna retry Genshin of them that 30 minutes I've played that one day, but looks cute. And then also SIFU release date. Let's continue down the release date train. SIFU got an official release date. This one was a delay though. So now coming out February 20th, 2022. That's right, 2 days after Horizon Forbidden West. Which, would that be the same week? Where's the calendar? Let's go to February next year. February.
So it releases on the Sunday here.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
Sunday the 20th.
Or unless it's a Monday.
Yeah, because then it would be a Saturday in America. That's weird.
What the fuck? Yeah, that's weird. Horizon comes,
I guess it doesn't matter. It's not going to be a boxed game, I would imagine.
No, so digital. But yeah, have a good old smack bang PlayStation time there where people are 5 hours into Horizon and then they're trying to remember all the complicated controls and what arrows and stuff to use for that game, and then switch on over to SIFU where I'm sure you've got to remember complicated button inputs for blocking, powering, and whatever else.
I mean, it doesn't matter. You just die and get old,
Yeah. In both games or just
get
SIFU?
beaten? Probably, well, I guess technically in both, but SIFU is more relevant.
Yeah, so I don't know. So there's February's fucked. I don't want to tell you. And this is all we know so far. Well, who knows what else is going to happen? They announced shit for March. God of War comes out June. July. Who knows what crazy.
Yeah, I reckon later. Well, second half to 2022 at this point.
God of War could come out August, realistically. It could fill that August slot. PlayStation has a thing for August at the moment, last couple of years. There's usually been something around July, August.
Like?
What was it this year? Ratchet? Previous years it's been like Days Gone and shit.
Ratchet's been a while ago now.
Wasn't that like June?
Yeah, June and August.
No, but like that mid-year slot. So I guess it's June to August. Days Gone. What else was there? I swear there's other things. They're the two that spring out over the last couple of years. It's a new thing.
Okay.
You have like a February.
I guess The Last of Us was.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you have a.
Not on purpose.
You have an early year release, February, and then they're having that seems to be the hot zone, and then they usually do a mid-year release, and then you got a end of year release. And weirdly, the end of year release game is usually the least eventful one they release. It's previously been stuff like, I don't know, Dreams. Oh no, was that really early?
Last year was Miles.
Yeah.
Year before was Ghosts.
DLC. Ghosts. Yeah. I reckon if you looked at several years,
This year Deathloop.
Does that count? That doesn't count. It's not exclusive. It's
What do you mean
console
it's not
exclusive. Console exclusive. It's on PC.
Yeah, for 12 months.
Yeah.
PC doesn't matter.
That'll come to fucking Xbox. It doesn't. That doesn't really count. But yeah, I feel like the end of year stuff is always like, I swear if they were to release, like, say Gran Turismo is going to come out next year, it's coming out at the end of the year. Let me tell you that right now. I'm putting that bet down.
Okay.
Gran Turismo is releasing next year. It ain't coming out until the later half of next year, and you'll have God of War come out prior to Gran Turismo. That's what I'm saying. The maths doesn't lie, Ash. The maths don't lie.
I mean, first you need to have actual numbers.
Do you see these motherfuckers? Do you see these numbers in front of me?
No.
You can't. I can. That's the point. It's like that meme. What's that from that show? You know, like with trying to like calculate shit, whatever. Or even the one they did for What's the Fuck from Stranger Things, Winona Ryder when she was on stage. You know, everyone like meme that part. That's me right now. Adding up shit, being smart and shit.
I don't think that's what the meme is. I think she's very confused.
Me too. All right, Death Stranding. Let's get into it. So 2 parts to this. Firstly, Death Stranding Director's Cut. That's what ended the stream.
It was the last game.
It was the last game. It was the last. Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. If you want to hear us talk about all things Gamescom, go listen to this week's episode of Arcade Couch where we cover everything. We said we'd go deep in Death Stranding on Platinum Explosion, which of course is what we're doing now. But it was
But shout outs to Jeff Keighley being in Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Shout outs to Jeff Keighley. So 8-minute 52-second trailer for the Death Stranding Director's Cut. Let's run down everything that I got here. So, very long trailer. It basically boils down everything, all the new features that are in it. There's a stabilizer in the game now that basically lets you use it as a jetpack. So you can fly and sort of like...
You can just jump down shit now.
Basically without any... Now,
so once you climb to the top, let's jump away.
I've got a lot of things to say about this, about like this potentially just ruining the point of the game, but I'll put an asterisk in it and come back to it. You got a cannon to shoot cargo out of. You got an AI robot that'll carry your cargo. It'll also carry you. It's called the Buddy Bot. Shout out to Buddy Watson. You got a training facility that lets you practice using all the weapons and gadgets in the game. And there's also high scores you can try and beat and online leaderboards for that. I saw when I was watching it, someone on Twitter, I can't remember who, was like, shout out to Metal Gear Acid or whatever that game was called. So yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. There's a new weapon, the Mazer gun. It's a taser in a gun.
Let's just change one letter. Okay.
Got him.
Does the letter M have anything to do with electricity? No.
I don't know. You can now replay boss battles at any point you want, as many times as you want. You can launch into them from the private room. You can battle and try and get the best scores against those to battle it out against your friends.
Ranked leaderboards.
Yeah, ranked leaderboards. You got a racetrack now. Battle it out against friends and other players online for race
Drive
scores.
Around in that like really bad van so you can get the fastest.
And of course, there's the new missions that are being added. Or they didn't say how many in the trailer, but they said missions. So there's at least a couple to the story. At the end of the trailer, you see the mysterious facility that we saw in the initial reveal trailer. You see Sam sneaking around. You see him following a hologram of a particular character that seems to be prominent. And it seems like it's a very old facility. There's new enemy types in there. They are presumably still... Oh, there was a part where you like picks up the gear or whatever, or you could look at them and they've got... I can't remember what the fuck you called the bad guy. Anyway, they were all named still the same bad guy type from the main game, whatever they were called. I can't remember what they were called now off the top of my head. Fuck. But whatever the main bad guy type was in the main game, they had the same name. They just seemed to be like more complicated.
Mule?
Yeah, mules. That's it. Mules. MULE. Whatever that stood for. I forgot. But yeah, so there's a bunch in here. Now, the thing is, and I'll get your opinion on... Well, no, let me hear your opinion first. All this added shit, like the jetpack type nonsense and whatever else, do you think that ruins the game?
I think it changes the game. I think the game that we played, 2 years ago, is going to be completely different to the Death Stranding you can play now. It seems like it's kind of been changed to hit the audience that was in love with Hideo Kojima games. with the gameplay that you would love in those type of games. But it also seems like they've added things that will keep you playing Death Stranding. It's like, hey, you can do all these race missions. You can keep doing all these redo all these fights, have ranked mode, be able to compete against your friends, give you a reason to keep playing, rather than experience the game, sit through the last 2 hours of cutscenes, and then move on to the next thing. It'll be interesting to see how certain things are implemented. I think it also speeds up the game. That'll be the major thing. Like, it won't take as long to get through the game because they've added a bunch of things that will make traversal easier or quicker. I think it's going to be different for someone who experiences it. This will be the first time than us who experienced it with the base game, and it just takes a lot of the time out of it, I think. How are you feeling?
I wouldn't say it ruins the game because I'm played it, but the biggest question I have that'll kind of change my thoughts on this is when and how do you unlock these items? And if they are all only unlocked after you've beaten the main story, then it's like, I don't really care.
What's the point
at that stage? Well, because
then what's the point of adding them?
Well, because like it would have made my platinum experience way easier.
Okay.
Or like that extra 25, 30 hours or, whatever of delivery and stuff like that. That would have...
I don't think it's going to be post-game.
It could be.
Why would you advertise all these things and then you can't access them until you finish the game?
Well, as someone who's played it twice, and I had to the only reason I fully replayed it a second time was because when I did the review for the PC version and they promised all the Portal content and Valve content, you could not get to the main, the cube with the heart, the main sort of thing from Portal and all that sort of stuff. You couldn't do that until you beat the game. That was after you beat the game. That was locked. You could not access it until after that point. So, like, it's very, we're talking about Kojima. I don't really think, like, if he wanted to be like, you have to beat the game to access the stuff, I think that's how it would be. But I think if they let you access it all from the start of the game, it would just be stupid, way too easy. Maybe if they at least spread some
not from the
out.
start of the game, but obviously they insert it where appropriate to balance it.
Yeah, if they at least spread them out, it could make it a little bit easier or whatever. We'll just have to see. Even if you could, even in a world where all of these items were miraculously available in your first like sort of 10 hours of the game, it just makes me sort of glad that I played it when it first released, because playing it this way, all of these items seem fun. That's the thing. The jetpack thing looks fun, launching catapult, all the racing, whatever. Seems like dumb fun. Yeah. But none of that is the reason I like.
That's not what the original game was. The first game was, the original game was boring.
But I mean, part of the reason I like the game so much is because the way it was designed and the way it forced you to play, it just created this very unique experience where you had to pace yourself and those songs would kick in and you would have those very slow, careful walks up the snowy hills that would take 10 minutes and you'd just be spraying your repair chute and, you'd begin to slip and be like, oh, fuck. And then you'd hope to the Lord everything would be okay. And, all that sort of stuff. Like that's that's part of the core experience to the game. I think taking that away doesn't mean it can't be a fun game, but it certainly takes away the unique part of Death Stranding that made it one of my favorite games. So if I was to play this game now as it is, having not played it before, it just makes me wonder if I'd walk away going, Death Stranding is like a really fun game, but it wouldn't hit that same core note deep inside me, or however you want to put it, that made me like it so much without that experience. And it's funny because, of course, the stuff I'm talking about is also a thing that people hate so much about the game. So
yeah, absolutely. So.
But I'm keen. I mean, there's enough in here to try out. And again, as I've talked about before.
If you had to replay the entire game to get access to this, would you replay the entire game?
I don't know if I'd have time, but I'd want to. I don't know. I really don't know. Depends what else is. What else I've got going on. I feel like I could. I feel like if
Did they chuck a date on this?
Yeah, it's out this month, September 18th or something. I think something around that, off the top of my head. Sounds about right.
Yeah, lucky there's nothing else coming out this month.
Yeah, when's the September 24th? There you go, end of September. So it's at least it's past some of the other stuff. I don't know, but then it was October, so it's just kind of there's a lot happening. But yeah, I definitely want to play it. I'm just hoping, and I don't know if I've missed this. I don't think I have, but I presume closer to release date we'll get some kind of confirmation on importing of saves and any of that sort of thing and what carries over. Let me import my save. Let me play around with the new stuff. Let me jump straight into the races. Let me go straight to that new story content.
Yep.
Let me auto pop a platinum. Most importantly, let me auto pop a platinum.
Yeah.
Look, Ghost of Tsushima did it right. Don't fuck me.
It's true.
Don't fuck me, Death Stranding. Fuck me a bit. But I'm definitely also very keen for the new content because to tie it into the story we're about to talk to, it seems like it's teasing important story information to do with the history of the world of Death Stranding and potentially a very early base or something like that. Or maybe one of the early bases where they created BBs or something along those lines. It could be. I don't really know. Obviously, there's a reason Sam's going there. Plus, it doesn't look anything like anything else in Death Stranding because you're inside this facility and it just looks like a very closed off area. And everything else in Death Stranding, for the most part, is, of course, even if you're inside a building, it's still just part of the big open world. You're never really in anything like this. It just looks so weird and different. And also quite odd because there's parts where he's just sneaking around this level that looks like it's out of Metal Gear Solid, but he's got still a stack of cargo on his back and whatever else. It just looks weirdly out of place, but that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do it? Would you jump back in if you got a...
Probably not, no.
What if it, at all, even if it was a free upgrade or a cheap upgrade? No?
No, I think I'm happy with my fond memories of playing through it my time.
Fair.
Sure, I could go back and if it's the same save, finish that road, but
finishing them roads will be easier now.
You can race across them.
Yeah, you can race. Maybe that's the thing. You can't race. You have to unlock the races. You have to build all the roads.
Maybe you have to build that racetrack first.
That's the thing. That could be an interesting thing. All right. Finally, talking about Death Stranding. Our friends at Well Played, right? Walking Dead actor and voice actor of Sam Porter Bridges, Norman Reedus has hinted during an interview that second Death Stranding might be in the works. During an interview with Adoro Cinema, a partner site to IGN Brazil, Reedus said, quote, "I think we're doing a second Death Stranding," elaborating by saying that the game is in negotiations right now. So yay! I just like to imagine Norman Reedus saying, "So yay!" I don't even know how that would sound with him. This isn't the first tease we've seen in regards to Death Stranding sequel either. In a tweet from June last year, there was a number of sketches spotted that look suspiciously like Death Stranding vehicles spotted on Kojima's desk. It's important to note that this is an official confirmation of Kojima's Productions is yet to comment, but does seem like a sequel might be on the horizon. And of course, Death Stranding Director's Cut coming out soon. Blah, blah, blah. This is interesting. Well, I feel like it's beyond just an idea if Kojima's talking to Reedus about it to the point that he's feels somewhat comfortable in an interview to just randomly drop I think we're doing a second one. He's obviously had more than a simple 30-second passing conversation about it. He's obviously had a deep enough conversation that it's led him to believe that he thinks they're doing a second one. And yeah, I remember those tweets from last year. And then everyone got over it because then all the Xbox rumors started and all that sort of stuff. But that is an interesting twist in the story because the whole Xbox is paying to get a Kojima exclusive, but if they are, is he doing this for PlayStation or what's the, how would that work? I don't know. And then I'm also what the hell would I even want out of Death Stranding 2? I don't know what stage I'm going to be comfortable to just, I feel like I can't. I don't know. Maybe next year I'll open the Death Stranding. There's no longer a spoiler warning needed for that game thing. Maybe that's a later in the year thing or next year thing after the director's cuts come and gone and whatever else. I'm like, it's fine. Everyone's had their chance. Spoilers gone. But if you finish Death Stranding, it's one of those endings where I'm like, I don't know if I need to or want to know what happens with Sam after the point the game ends. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, what would you want to play? What would you want it to be, a different character or what for a Death Stranding 2?
I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like, I think I kind of just want, like, kind of weirdly go the Last of Us 2 route and maybe jump forward in time.
Sam takes
or
a baseball bat to the face, or
maybe not that extreme, but maybe explore it through the baby's eyes. I don't know what does he gets a name? I can't remember.
Yes, but it's a spoiler.
Or is that spoilers?
Spoiler.
Yeah. The one that they end up with is that a spoiler, saying that you could potentially play as a baby. Spoiler.
You could play as a grown-up baby?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a spoiler. That's life.
Like, it'd be interesting to jump back in 10 years later and how's the world still going? Are people still fucking with the network or whatever? We have to reconnect everything because
well, I hope not. Because that's the thing,
shit. Or it's the opposite, where it's hey, we crossed America, connecting everybody. What about the rest of the world?
Yeah, well, that could be a thing. Because I feel like
maybe
there's just such a big idea of Death Stranding. When you boil it down, Kojima has this core concept of reuniting a fractured America. And obviously there's some basis to that of Trump's America, or that sort of it's not specifically about Trump, but you can feel coming off 4 years of Trump that the fracturing of America, you could sort of read into that and whatever else. But yeah, I feel like if they're to do a sequel, it has to be about more than simply the fucking ghostly apparitions and characters. It needs thematically to be a reason to exist, but also he's got enough of an imagination and a head on him that I'd trust him to to figure that one out.
Yeah. He's going to make maybe, do you reckon his next game is Death Stranding?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. If he's making an Xbox game, is Death Stranding 2 after that for Sony?
Does Sony wouldn't own the IP, though?
I don't.
Death Stranding,
I don't actually know.
Kojima could take Death Stranding wherever.
Yeah.
Because obviously Sony didn't publish Death Stranding on PC.
No. I don't know who owns it. I think he probably owns it.
Probably.
I assume he does, yeah.
Because Sony's hey, sure.
So Sony could have in a contract that we don't see that he can do whatever he wants but publish it on Xbox, though. And that could have been part of the agreement.
Yeah.
Which sounds very blunt, but that is the type of after leaked documents we've seen in the past between Sony talking to people like Epic and whatever else. I think that very blunt sort of language is legit how they would write it too. You can put this anywhere but Xbox. Sign here. Then you can use the fucking Decima engine or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the agreement. Go for gold at that point. Can I put it on PC?
But,
yeah, don't care.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a bunch of different things you could do. You could potentially play the game or the events of the first game through different characters' eyes. Explore what Deathman was it? I can't remember.
Deadman?
The Deadman. Him, or you can explore more of the backstory of Fragile, or any of the crazy dudes. Let me play as Guillermo del Toro. Let me play as Higgs.
You know what the most exciting thing about potential Death Stranding 2 is?
What?
If it's a legit thing and it's his next project, we should get a trailer soon because he has at least 2 years of cinematic teasers before the game comes out. So we could get one soon. You think I'm exaggerating, but if it is a legit thing,
when is the next Game Awards?
That's right, Ash. We may be merely months away from seeing Death Stranding 2.
I was about to say, what's the next Jeff Keighley thing?
It's the fucking Game Awards. It's only a couple months away. December, everyone. Whatever date. I don't know if the date's locked in, but get excited.
Yeah.
Prepare to see Hideo Kojima present a cinematic trailer for Death Stranding 2. Unless he's secretly behind abandoned.
No, that's banned, isn't it?
No,
I don't know. I think, would he really tease it so soon after Death Stranding Director's Cut?
Yeah, I feel like he could. Because it's not like a brand new release. I feel like because it's a re-release, if you have that couple months between September and the Game Awards, I feel like he could drop a new teaser there.
Especially if he wins an award, like I'm sure it'll be up for something because Jeff
makes up an award to give him as an excuse to get out on stage.
Best Director's Cut.
Yeah. Best re-release. Gives it to me. Done.
Best DLC. Yeah.
Best tweets by a developer. Gives it to me. You know, like he can make up any awards. It's fine. If Jeff wants Kojima out on stage, he'll figure it out. There's no problem at all. And I'm keen. I would love to get back on the several year fucking deciphering Kojima videos at this stage. Because the original Death Stranding, I was like, wasn't in love with him, didn't hate him. I enjoyed watching him. But if they start teasing Death Stranding 2, now that I know I'm into the world, the lore and everything, fuck, I'll chug, get me on those Reddit forums, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All aboard. Hype train. That's about it for this week. I do want to say one story I didn't bother bringing up because I just don't really know what to say about it, and I found it all kind of stupid, to be completely honest, which is that I don't know if you've seen or anyone listening seen, but there's a thing currently about those new PS5 models that we talked about like a week ago that showed up in Australia first. Some YouTube channel opened them up. They discovered the heatsink in the new one is smaller than the old one. So now people are saying that Sony's like secretly cheaped out and these new PS5s are going to blow up and they're not going to disperse heat properly or whatever. But I mean, in my opinion, and I'm not like a tech expert, but I think like just judging it solely off the products without actually doing any actual like tests, running them for like hours or days, like and comparing, then you can get into the numbers. But just going one thing smaller, other thing bigger, worse, it's going to blow up. That's my 2 cents on that. Anyway, it's been these whole things. Everyone's arguing on the internet about it. Jeff Grubb did an article saying everyone needs to fucking calm down. So everyone now, a bunch of these people have been calling him Sony fanboys. So a bunch of people, YouTubers making videos saying he's being paid off by Sony and all this stuff, which is hilarious because, as I replied to his tweet about before we recorded, I was like, back when he was saying Returnal was pretty average, everyone was like, oh, you was paid off by Xbox to talk shit about Sony. And then he's sticking up for the PS5. Everyone's like, you're paid off by Sony. Like it's fucking never ending. So I don't know. Anyway, that's I mean,
it just shows that he's no loyalty to anybody.
It's true.
So he'll take it, whatever money is available.
That's the biggest.
Whenever it's available.
I respect that. You know what I'm saying? But that is currently the hottest PlayStation topic. Apparently Sony
jokes
got him. Apparently the new PS5 will blow up, according to
random YouTuber.
Like, if I was going to trust anyone, I just need to see like Digital Foundry or someone do some like legit tests, like
someone with like visual, actual proof of the PlayStation.
Like run them for hours or days, run the temperatures, see if it affects anything. And even then, I would need someone who knows more than me to go, even if the new one runs like point whatever hotter, does that even actually matter? You know what I mean? Like, I would need someone who understands these things to tell me if that matters or not. Like, let's say the new thermal heatsink or whatever doesn't do as much and it runs a little bit hotter, but then it also just doesn't affect it. And Sony realized they didn't need such a big heatsink because they didn't actually need it. And now that's why they've switched. Like, anyway, it's a weird, that's the whole thing. So stay away from that topic, in my opinion, unless someone, or at least the current sort of circling news, because it's all sort of just people yelling at each other. thinking they know more than one another, which is fun. Let us know any topics, questions, comments, concerns, your thoughts on heatsinks. Tweeting at us or joining Discord. Our Twitters are explosionetwork.com/Discord. No, that's a Discord. But explosionetwork.com/Twitters.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But,
if you like this episode and thought it was worth $1, head on over to explosionetwork.com/support to drop $1. Buy us coffee over at that page. Set up a monthly recurring payment for our Ko-fi page. Be much appreciated. And until next week, remember, every trophy counts. Hey, don't forget you can subscribe to the show wherever you're currently listening, and you can drop a review if you can. Find more great shows like this and more content over at explosionnetwork.com, and please consider supporting us for as little as $1 over on our Ko-fi page by heading to explosionnetwork.com/support. Thanks for listening.